friends. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Keisha, and today I'm going to be talking about all the books that I hope to read in the month of September. So I'm really excited about it being September because first of all, fall is coming, and I know it's not fall yet, but I already brought out a fall shirt. So in case you can't see it, because I'm not sure where the camera is, it says, "Oh my gourd, I love fall." So I'm so stoked for it to be fall. I'm manifesting fall. The stores are already bringing fall stuff out, so why can't I? I've got my bookshelves decorated, which I think I need to tweak a little bit because I'm not completely satisfied. But I have my fall shirt on, and I've got some fall books I'm going to talk to you guys about today. But before I do that, another reason that I'm really excited about this month is because it's my birthday month, and I'm so excited. I don't know who doesn't love their birthday month. I mean, I am slowly approaching 30 now, so it's not as exciting as it used to be, but it's still exciting. So I'm going to be 28 this year on September 20th, and I'm so excited about my birthday. We are actually going on vacation my birthday weekend, and that's so exciting too, just because that's never happened before. We don't usually take a fall vacation. So I'm very excited about this month, and I'm very excited about the books that I'm going to be reading. So let's just go ahead and get started talking about them. So I am going to go ahead and start doing some more like spooky reads because October is just not long enough for that. So I have some spooky fall reads that I'm going to be doing this month, and I want to go ahead and start with my buddy reads. So I actually have 3 buddy reads this month, and I'm so excited about them. The first one is, this is A Dash of Trouble by Anna Mariano. I believe that's how you pronounce her name. I'm sorry if it's not. And then this is the first book in the Love, Sugar, Magic series. So this follows our main character, Leonora, or Leo, and her family is a family of bakers. So they have always baked together, and one of her favorite times to bake is for the celebration of Dia de los Muertos. And Leo has never actually gotten to bake for this before because she's too young, and her family tells her again this year that she is still too young. But she ends up finding out that her mother, her aunt, and her 4 older sisters are brujas, or witches of Mexican ancestry, who put a little bit of magic into everything that they bake. So of course Leo knows that she may have access to these powers as well, but she doesn't want to let her family know that she knows their secret. So she decides when her best friend Caroline has a problem that she's going to try to use magic to fix it. She thinks it's just one little spell, what could possibly go wrong? Well, Leo, probably a lot. So I'm really excited to read this one. I'm going to be buddy reading this with Ashley and Tegan from the Biblios podcast. I've mentioned them quite a few times on my channel already, but if you have not checked them out yet, I highly recommend it. Those girls are phenomenal. I love them so much. They are so fun to talk to, and if you have never spoken to them before, I highly recommend reaching out because they're just great people, and I love their podcast. It's always really interesting to hear what they talk about. And they've had some really interesting authors on there as well. I've been on one of their podcasts before, and that was a really fun experience. So yeah, I highly recommend them, and I'm really excited to read the first book in the Love, Sugar, Magic series with them this month. The next book that I'm going to be buddy reading is Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno Garcia. And I'm going to be buddy reading this with Lauren from Lauren Love Reads over on Instagram and on YouTube. So I'm really excited about reading this with her, but I'm also a little bit nervous. I think this has been like a theme with our buddy reads so far. We've only buddy read one other book, but it was Home Before Dark by Riley Sager. And I think we were kind of nervous about that one being really scary. And then I think we're nervous about this one because we've heard mixed things. So it's really funny that we picked these books to buddy read. But I don't really know a lot about Mexican Gothic. I just know it's about this woman whose cousin kind of like sends her a message that says, "I'm about to face this impending doom. I need you to come and help me." And when she gets there, I think everything's fine, but it's not fine. And there are some family secrets with like her cousin's husband and father and their kid or something, maybe like her nephew. I don't even know. Not her nephew. I don't know. There's all these people, and there's these things going on, and there's secrets, and she's basically playing like detective, trying to figure out what's going on. Is the house haunted or not? Is her cousin sane or not? Or is the family like dangerous or not? I don't really know what's going on. But when this book first came out, I really didn't care to read it. Like, it just didn't pique my interest. I thought the cover was really interesting, but I didn't really care to read it, I guess, at the time. And then people started reading it, and I was still like, no, I'm good, because there's so many books out there. And then people started saying, I don't think I like this book. It's really bizarre. And I was like, okay, I need to read this book because I read Bunny and I loved Bunny, and that was super bizarre. So I was like, I have to read this one. Now, the one thing that I've heard is there is a lot of body horror in this book. And I don't know how much or how little, but Bunny had some body horror too. Maybe not like to this extent. But I'm hoping that maybe I'll be able to still read this and enjoy it. But I will let you guys know. I'm really excited to read this one with Lauren and figure out what we think about this bizarre book. The next book that I'll be buddy reading is House of Salt and Sorrows by Erin A. Craig, and I'm also going to be reading this one with Lauren. She was actually reading this for a book club, but I kind of like scooted in there and I was like, hey, I want to read this, and she was already reading it, or she was doing a reread of it, and she really likes this book. So I was like, obviously I have to jump on this. So I've heard a lot of people talk about House of Salt and Sorrows. Most people have raved about it, and that on the one hand intimidates me, but on the other hand makes me really excited to read this. It's been a couple of years and this has been on my list. It's been on my radar, but I haven't owned it, and I got it, I think earlier this year or last year for Christmas. I can't really remember when. I get so many books that I don't know when I get them, and I haven't gotten any for a while, so I've been doing good. I've been trying to read what I own, which is what I'm trying to do now. But anyways, I don't really know a lot about this book, but I know it's a great book to read in the fall, or so I've been told, and it is a retelling of the 12 Dancing Princesses. I've never read that fairy tale, so I don't know what it's about. But dark fairy tales just sound really interesting to me right now, especially during the fall. And I know that our main character has there's 12 sisters. 11 of them have passed away over the past few years due to different accidents. But then the main character and the one sister that's left is trying to figure out, have these really been accidents or is something else going on? It's set at sea. It's really ominous. I've heard it's very atmospheric, which I love atmospheric books. That's all you have to tell me to get me interested. So I'm really excited to read this one, and I'm hoping that I love it as much as everyone else has. Okay, that's all for the buddy reads. Now let's get into the rest of the books, and these are all the rest of these are middle grade. So just be prepared. They're like spooky middle grade books. So first I have The Worst Witch Complete Adventures by Jill Murphy. So if you don't know what The Worst Witch is, let me just tell you. I watched this show, not the show that's on Netflix right now. That's a remake. I'm not even going to watch that. But there's a show that came on TV, I think it was on PBS or something when I was growing up, called The Worst Witch. And it starred this girl named Mildred Hubble, and Mildred Hubble was going to Miss Cackle's Academy for Witches or for Young Witches or something like that. And Mildred Hubble was the worst witch. She's the worst student. She's just not very good at being a student or being a witch, and so she's always getting her spells wrong and getting into all kinds of different shenanigans. And so I wanted to start this series. Now there are 8 books in the series. I don't know if I will read them all in September or if I will read 4 in September and 4 in October. It just depends. They are younger middle grade books, so the text is really big and there's some pictures throughout as well, so I feel like I could probably binge these, but I definitely wanted to check them out because I loved the show growing up. It's very nostalgic for me, and I had no idea it was based off of a book series. So I'm really excited to read these, and I'm not making any promises here, guys, because we all know how vlogging goes for me. And if you don't, just go back and watch my vlogs, because there's only 2 of them and it hasn't gone very well, in my opinion. But I've thought about maybe vlogging, reading all of these, and then watching the series, and then maybe watching the first episode of the Netflix series, not because I want to, but just to compare, and then seeing what I think and kind of vlogging my experience and comparing all of them together. Let me know if that's something that you'd be interested in seeing down in the comments below, but I'm not making any promises. I'm not sure, but it was just a thought. Either way, I'm really excited to read these and get back into this world of Mildred Hubble and Miss Cackle's Academy of Witches. The next book that I'm really excited to read is The Peculiar Incident on Shady Street by Lindsay Curry. So I really want to read Scritch Scratch in October, and so this one came out before that one, and I was like, I might as well read this one. And this story follows Tessa Woodward, and Tessa is not really excited about moving because she's moving from Florida, sunny Florida, to rainy, muggy, not as happy Chicago. So she is feeling a little bit homesick. Not to mention, she is apparently living in a haunted house because she's hearing all these noises, the lights are flashing, there are drawings appearing on the wall. So she's kind of freaked out, but then she comes to find out that someone is trying to communicate with her and let her know something that happened in this house 100 years ago. So she and 3 of her new friends are trying to figure out this mystery of what happened on the house on Shady Street all these years ago and how it connects with Tessa. So this sounds really spooky and interesting. I'm really excited about it. It's a little bit lengthy, or it seems a little lengthy. I'm not sure. Maybe it's not. I think I just get intimidated by reading so many books, but I think this is going to be a good one and I'm really excited to check it out. The next book has been on my TBR for a really long time, let's just be honest. So it's The Door by the Staircase by Catherine Marsh. I asked on Instagram, I did a poll to see if I should read this one or Behind the Bookcase first, because both of them are spooky and both of them remind me of Coraline a little bit. I mean, you've got the spooky cover, there's a door, there's a cat. I mean, it's just very Coraline-esque in my opinion. And so this is the one that won for September. So this is the one I'm going to be reading first. And it follows a 12-year-old girl named Mary Hayes. And Mary is in this orphanage. She absolutely hates it. And she tries to escape numerous times. And it never is successful. She always fails at escaping. And then one day, Madam Z, this mysterious woman named Madam Z, shows up and wants to adopt Mary. And so Mary goes home with her and she gets all these new clothes, this really nice bed. She gets a really nice meal. And she's like, this is a dream come true. This can't be real. Then she goes to visit the town nearby with her new friend Jacob and comes to find out that Madam Z is not the person she says she is, and this nightmare begins. So that to me just sounds like Coraline and the other mother, and how she felt like she was pampered at first and she thought that all these things were great, and then she finds out that the other mother was really evil and all that stuff. And so I'm just like, Coraline, right? So I'm really excited to read this one. Editing Keisha here, and I realized that I forgot a book. No surprise here, it was in my bag. So I also have Midnight at the Barclay Hotel by Flora Bradley that I will be reading this month. This is for my middle grade book club, which is now called the Book Lights. I have decided to continue that with these kiddos, even though I don't work at the library anymore. I love my kids and I really want to still be involved in their lives and do this book club with them and just kind of inspire a love of reading with them. And I love middle grade, so why not? So this is Midnight at the Barclay Hotel, and it is about this boy named JJ. And JJ and his mom win this like all expenses paid weekend trip to the Barclay Hotel. And JJ convinces his mom to go, and he thinks that he's gonna spend the weekend kind of like ghost hunting at this supposedly haunted place. But he ends up finding himself in the middle of a murder mystery, and his mom is one of the suspects. So this sounds really good. It's a middle grade mystery. There are some really cute illustrations in here. If I can find one, I will show you. Okay, so here's one. The illustrations are just absolutely gorgeous, and I think this is going to be a really good book. It just recently came out, I think within the last year. So I'm really excited to read this one with my book club kiddos. And then the last two books on my list are The Witches by Roald Dahl. This is the original novel, and this one is the graphic novel by Penelope Bagua. I think that's how you say that. I'm not sure. But anyways, so I'm really excited to read this. When I was little, all I can remember is watching this terrible movie with Angelica Houston as this witch who was really scary, and I had no idea it was based off of this book until I got older. And so it really wasn't a terrible movie. It just terrified me as a kid, and it's very nostalgic for me, but I don't know. So yeah, I want to try this book out. I've never read it before. If you don't know what it's about this young boy whose grandmother tells him stories about witches. These witches want to wipe out children, and they don't like kids. They just want to kill them all off. Or, you know, maybe not kill them off, but if you've watched this, you know. And so he hears all these stories, and then he and his grandmother end up coming face to face with the High Witch, the Grand High Witch, I think is what her name is. Well, not her name, but like who she is. She's the Grand High Witch. And so then they have to kind of put all these stories to the test and figure out how to conquer these witches and save all the children. And so I'm really excited to read that, and also the graphic novel. This just looks really interesting to me. The art is kind of kooky looking, which I don't know, it really intrigues me, and I love graphic novels. You guys know this, so I'm really excited to check these out. And once again, I have a vlog idea to kind of like read both of these, watch the old The Witches movie, and then watch the new one that has, what is her name? Anne Hathaway as the main witch. But I don't know. Let me know in the comments if that would be something you're interested in, where I compare all of these. But I'm not going to make any promises again. We'll see how much time I have and how much energy I have and how much motivation I have to see if we do that. But I am nonetheless really excited to jump back into this world of these kooky, crazy, kind of creepy witches. All right, y'all, that's it for the video today. I hope you enjoyed learning about some of these books. Maybe you found a new one that you can read this spooky season. I know I'm really excited to read all of the spooky books. Spooky middle grades are like some of my favorites. It's one of my favorite genres. I'm gonna count it as a genre. I like thrillers and I like spooky middle grades, and this is the perfect time of year for both of those. So I'm so excited to read these and read some more in October. I'm excited about fall and all of the things. My birthday, the leaves changing, the weather getting a little bit cooler. I'm excited about everything. Pumpkin everything. I mean, it's pumpkin spice season, ladies. Like, let's get on it. Anyways, okay, so I hope you liked this video. If you liked it, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos from me, you can always hit the subscribe button and the bell to get notifications whenever I post a new video. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, friends.